Hello everyone, welcome to Collection Reflection, and thank you for joining me today. On this reflection we will be looking at DC Direct's The Adventure Continues, The Batman Who Laughs. Let's take a closer look at the packaging. Here you can see the name of the figure, and behind the plastic shell you can see that there's just a silhouette of Batman. And on the back is the same thing, but in the reverse color scheme. There's the bottoms and the sides. Normally, I save the adjustments and improvements for the end of the show, but I just couldn't help myself. I had to alter him before I even had a chance to get him in front of the camera. So if you just want to zoom past this part and just get right to the review of the figure, here's the time code. I enjoy a lot about this figure, but its biggest drawback has to be its shoulder articulation. It was extremely hindered, and it made handling this figure a lot less enjoyable. So what I did was take the shoulder range from this to this. I tried my best to increase the range of movement without destroying this awesome design that he already has. As I took a closer look at the figure, I realized that the vest seems to be like an extra piece that's layered on top, and it's a bit softer of a plastic than the rest of the figure. I was able to take an X-Acto knife and just make one simple cut from corner to corner. That way, when I move his arm closer in, you can see the rubber is actually moving to get out of its way. And it's going to go over and on top of the arm. But the coat was still too thick, which prevented the arm from staying in the right place. So I had to take the knife and cut thickness of the vest down about halfway on both sides. Now, it moves over the arm when you push it in, and it stays there. If you don't like the way that this piece hangs, you can make one more cut to complete that triangle, and this will give you the most clearance, but it's also going to change the look the most as well. These cuts were simple, but an effective adjustment, and now I can appreciate this figure a lot more. If you wanted to increase the arm range even more, the only part that's hindering it now is this piece closest to the armpit. The reason why I didn't start my cut from down there is because I would have had to cut through this painted gray buckle, and I thought that was going to interrupt the sculpt way too much. I know it may seem silly that I'm explaining how to cut one straight line, but I was very hesitant to buy this figure because none of the reviews I watched talked about how limited his shoulders were, and if there was even any way to fix them. So let me know in the comments down below if you found any of this helpful at all, or is this part of my review just a big waste of time? And with that, let's take a closer look at his sculpt. This figure has a really great design, and I'm enjoying this Batman the Animated Series feel that he has to it. This character was obviously never in the actual show because he was created far after the show was off television, but I think they did a great job with trying to make this guy fit into the aesthetic of the show. He's got those huge broad shoulders and it tapers down, and I think it works really well from the back. He has one of the best silhouettes of any figure that I own, and I think it has something to do with his really long limbs. He's got thin, long arms and thin, long legs, and he's got this nice, the coat almost looks like his cape. I like how they kind of combine the elements of Joker's outfit with Batman's. Here you can see all the detailing he has in his coat, all the buckles. Those are all painted, I believe. There's actually not much paint on this figure itself besides his head. That looks awesome to me. I really like the detail that they put into the face. The sculpt on the teeth are raised, so the teeth are actually sticking out a little bit further than the black part of the mouth. I think that looks awesome. His helmet is actually made out of a pretty hard plastic, so you might need to be careful with these spikes he's got, because they are pretty sharp. I wonder where his nose goes when he puts this on. This figure is cell shaded, I believe, but there's not much on there. And what is on there almost looks like it's part of his original design already. You can see there on the boots he's got a little bit on the outside of both of them, and on his shoulders, and most notably on the top of his head. And there you can see a little bit right there, just to make his character design stand out a little more. His arms has this nice detail, almost looks like it's wrapped rather than just a sleeve. The design is simple and sleek, but it's still eye-catching. I think they did a great job on this. Let's move on to his articulation. He does have a head swivel, but it is hindered by the coat. There is no up and down. His arms can raise out to about 90, which was already true before I made the cuts. His arm can spin 360, but it will start coming outwards because of the shape of his shoulders. He has single jointed elbows that go that far. His arms are made out of the same rubbery, softer plastic that his vest is, so if you want to try to increase the range, you can push it, but I wouldn't do that too much because you will put a lot of stress on those joints. He's got 360 wrist swivel, and all of his wrists have the high five hinge. He has a waist swivel that goes 360. It does get hindered by the coat a little bit, but you can get it to go all the way around. This crotch piece that he has here is a rubbery, soft material, so it will move when you try to get his legs up. And he does kick to about 90. It goes off to the side just a little bit. He can do the bat splits. He has a double jointed knee that can bend all the way back and kick himself in the cape. He has no boot swivel, but he does have ankle swivel. And it does go back that far and forward that far. What do you say we take a look at his accessories? Here's a quick overview of all the accessories he comes with. First up, let's talk about the hands that he comes with. So these are the ones that he came with in the box. These are the ones he already had on. He comes with one of those open, almost clawed hands, and then another open holding hand for his other accessories. But what I found was odd was the extra set of hands that he comes with in the package are exactly the same as the ones that he already has on. So now I have two open holding right hands and two clawed left hands. And I tried looking at the design of these hands to see if there's anything different about them, but it's not. I don't know if that's happened to anyone else or if that was supposed to happen on purpose, but I imagine we were supposed to get a right and a left open hand and a right and a left clawed hand. Either way, let's show you how to remove and replace the hands. So you just want to take the hand and slowly pull it out. Then you're going to take the replacement hand, and I promise I did get a different one. and you're just going to push it right back in until you feel a nice little pop. And there you go. Let's look at the other accessories he comes with. This is his little mini-me mace. I think it looks a lot like him. I don't know if he did that on purpose, or if this is just a nice fun little coincidence. Here's a better close-up look of that mace, and you can already see on the handle there is paint scuffs and scratches from his hand, and his hand also has little black lines in them because of the paint from the mace. So just be careful about paint rub. And last but not least, this has to be easily my favorite accessory that he comes with. It's this nice ball and chain, but bat style. So it comes with this really nice Batarang, and this is an actual real functioning chain. So if you wanted to remove the Batarang, you could. And at the other end, here's this spiked ball, and it's made out of the same material that the rest of the gray spike plastic is, so it is sharp and you might have to be careful for it. You can easily work the chain through his hands, and this Batarang is very useful for when the weight of this ball wants to drag the chain out of his hand. The Batarang almost stops it like a grapple. The fact that they included a real chain makes the price point of this figure a lot more understandable, and it makes the feel of it a lot more premium. Let's move on and take a look at some comparisons. And here he is next to Power Rangers Lightning Collection Lord Draken and the Phantom Ranger. Here's another character where I attempted to bring his arms closer together and fix his shoulder movement. And I thought this would make a nice comparison because they both have similar color palettes. Here he is to a BST AXN Itachi Uchiha and a SH Figure Arts Goku Black. You can see that the Batman who laughs is taller than both of them. Here he is with a Transformers War for Cybertron Fossilizer wing finger, and also Dr. Doom from Marvel's Monster Hunter line. Here he is next to a Dragon Star's Cooler Final Form, and from the controller Build-A-Figure wave we have Marvel Legends Thor. I don't have any 6-inch Batman or Joker figures that I can use to compare with the Batman Who Laughs, but I do have from DC Spin Master Batman and Joker. This is a 4-inch toy line, so you can see how he compares to figures of that size. From another 4-inch toy line, we have the Brute and Scope from Final Faction. You can find those at Dollar Tree, but I have customized the Brute and Scope just a little bit and added some articulation to them. But that's how they compare with the Batman Who Laughs. Scope is about up to his waist, and the Brute is about up to his elbow. And finally, perhaps most importantly, Pumpkin Wrapper's Big Halloween Head. You tell me which one is scarier. Now it's time for my final thoughts about this figure. I think he looks great. And from the beginning, his posability was fine, his articulation was fine, it was limited, and he wasn't able to do the pose that I like. But now he can, and I couldn't be happier. Without the shoulder fix, this was a pretty decent figure. But with the shoulder fix, in my opinion, this is a must-have. This was my very first Batman Who Laughs figure. I've been a fan of this character since he first debuted in the comics, and I've been wanting to get my hands on an action figure of him for a while, but I haven't found one that I liked enough. And I was actually hoping that DC Spin Master was going to come out with one of their very own. You better believe I'd buy that immediately. But for now, this is the only Batman Who Laughs in my collection, and I think it's fine that he is. This is a great representation of the character. I like the aesthetic of him, I like the design of him, that it fits into the animated show. His accessories are great. Of course, I would have liked for him to come with some kind of a blade or a knife or something, but for what he has, that's awesome. If you were hesitant on buying this guy because of the articulation, hopefully this helps persuade you to want to go out and buy him and fix it yourself. Because I know it might not look that great on my copy, but if I can do it, I know that you can improve it. So together, let's make things better. Thank you all so much for joining me on this reflection. If you had a good time and would like to see more reviews, make sure you decimate that like and subscribe button, and check out the other reviews and videos I already have on this channel. Or you can visit my social media for more pictures and videos of some awesome action figures. Please find some time to have a nice chuckle today, and go be nice to somebody. I'll talk to you next time.